Good morning.
Morning.
So apparently me enforcing a physical consequence without like losing it or like smacking my kid is some hot commodity, and like there's a bunch of questions about that. Like, just to be honest, like all I was doing was he talked inappropriately to my girl, and like I wouldn't let that slide for anybody, so I addressed it in a stern immediate way. But like, I don't need to hit my kid for him to understand he messed up.
Well, you don't need to scream and yell and belittle them for them to know that they done messed up.
I mean, I don't think so, but what do I know? I'm just the dad. So a big question we had was like, how do you like make sure that you don't use physical consequence and not have the negative impact of like making your kids not want to physically exercise or do stuff like that?
To associate physical exercise with something bad and negative.
Yeah. So first, like, I role model physical activity. We have a home gym. It's something that I do pretty regularly, whether I want to or not. It's for my own mental and physical and emotional health, and it's just something I've been doing for years.
And you're pretty openly talking about all of those benefits with the kids. Like, frequently, you're always inviting them to work out with you, explaining why it's good for them, why it helps you. Like,
yeah, all four of our kids will come to me at different times and ask to either work out with me or even just to get a workout. Like,
give them a workout to do.
Yeah, hey Dad, football's coming, like what exercises should I do? Our oldest daughter just ran her fastest 2 mile, and that was at her mom's house, and she called and was excited to share an accomplishment she had. Mm-hmm. So like, we try to role model all the positive benefits of it, and then let them make their own decisions as far as like consistent exercise goes. They know that for myself, there's been times where like when I have to deal with something hard for me, emotionally or in life, things that you just can't control, that's one of my positive, healthy outlets. Is I go and I always say, I take my frustration out on the weights, and it helps alleviate the frustration I'm feeling. And on top of that, like, you get stronger, faster, healthier. Like, there's not really a negative consequence to that. So that's what we try to role model that on a consistent basis. So that's more where I hope their opinions and beliefs and foundations in physical health will kind of stem from.
Yeah, as long as like the majority of physical exercise comes from positive interactions and fun interactions.
And you're going to feel like those positive benefits of like regulation and physical strength, and like the benefits you're going to receive from exercise are going to happen whether you're doing it because you choose to or you're being forced to. So the result is kind of the same lots of times.
The science behind physical exercise is the same.
The next part is, we try to set out our expectations for the kids pretty clear. Like, they're written down, they're talked about. I always say, like, dumb people react, smart people respond. I didn't come out and that wasn't a reaction. I was responding to an inappropriate behavior. It was pretty evident as soon as I asked him about it. Like, he knew, like, oh, shoot, I messed up. And there was going to be a consequence. My kind of goal was I try to associate consequences with the behavior or action we're trying to correct. So, you had difficulty controlling your physical behavior, so we're going to practice controlling some physical behavior, and it's going to reinforce that you can control your physical behavior. You're in control of what you say and what you do, regardless of how you feel.
And I think especially for our kids, like, it allows them the opportunity, like when they physically exercise after acting out in poor behavior, when they exercise, it allows them to kind of like recenter themselves to get to a calmer place, to where then we can have better verbal communication with them after the consequence of like, this is what you did, this is why it was wrong, what's your thoughts, what's your opinions, let's talk about it, let's communicate through why this was not a good choice.
And we do that with our boys and our girls.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a case-by-case basis depending on what the negative behavior was. With our oldest daughter, there's been times where she's struggling to get her room clean. And it's, I can just tell that she's frustrated, she's emotional, kind of in her feelings. And it's, hey, why don't we go for a jog? And sometimes we go for a jog together. It's a bonding experience. And then she's ready to have a better, deeper conversation with less emotions involved. Sometimes that's, more like this last case where it's like, you're going to sit in a plank, or you're going to, jog on the treadmill until you're ready to control your behavior. So like the simplest thing is you're controlling your physical behavior to reinforce and practice controlling your physical behavior, and that seems to have worked for the most part. Obviously nothing's ever perfect and ever great.
We're always messing up and always learning.
But for the most part, our experience has been, you know, you're forced to do something hard, and then in relativity to that, other things become a lot easier.
Yeah. And I think in reference to just like, there's no guarantees, but helping to ensure that our kids don't have a negative association with physical exercise, we just try and make sure that physical exercise in a happy, fun, positive way is exemplified for them daily. That way, when there is a negative consequence where physical exercise is used, that's not their core memory of exercise.
I always say to people in general, but to my kids, is like, just because I do something a certain way, it doesn't mean 100% I'm right. Like,
no.
I'm just doing the best I can and what I think is the best thing to do. So it's kind of like I'm setting an example of things that work for me and tools that you can use to help work through different problems. If there's another positive tool, I mean, it's not the only thing we use. You know, we've done lines, we've done thought journals. You know, we've been to therapy appointments and bounce ideas off of all different people. So we're always looking for other options and different ways to kindly and lovingly correct negative behaviors. This is just one that we've found so far for us is pretty effective.
Hasn't really had any negative
like I said,
results so
it
far.
Adds in a physical component. Without it, there's, like, in my mind, there's no violence or aggression attached to that. You know, you're going to control your body and you're going to do something that's hard and sucks, and we hope that we don't have to do it again for that reason. But you're going to be capable of controlling your body, your mind, your emotions, and like how you talk. Nobody gets to talk to my girl like that, so you know. That's how I decided to handle it, and apparently it was at least decently approved. So.
Sorry this video is so long. We're gonna get better at condensing these, but we've never done this before, so okay.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.